Camera's all good here. Can you hear me? Faja, Faja, can you hear me? Okay, guys, welcome back to Tony Restores TSR Livestream, episode 2. So, last time we left off with our article about Greta, and we finished Act 1 from Corey Morningstar's pretty sweet breakdown of Greta and all of her associations. So we're going to continue that with Act 2 today. But first I want to talk to you guys about, I don't want to spend too long on it today, but I want to talk to you about this cool documentary called The Light Bulb Conspiracy. And it plays into the theme of the first episode that, these corporations are the biggest contributors of the problem to the environment. So, and a lot of it has to do with nothing more than just straight up, all out greed. So, and the easiest way they do that is just that they've bred this consumerist culture over decades. So, this is the trailer for The Light Bulb Conspiracy. Planned obsolescence is something that's super interesting, guys. And it's something that all these companies do. It definitely, since the 1920s. So we're going on 100 years of this being, planned obsolescence being a key tool that these corporations use to drive the economy. But in reality, what it really does is produce inefficiency and waste. So yeah, this documentary kicks ass. It's about the light bulb, but it goes into more than that. About even in the modern day, how where the printers are a problem. Here we'll watch the trailer, and you guys can see for yourselves.
In the 1920s, light bulbs lasted 2,500 hours. Today, they last only 1,000 hours. What happened? A secret cartel was set up in 1924. Its goal, to reduce the lifespan of light bulbs to 1,000 hours.
Yeah, listen to that statement there too. There doesn't have to be an Illuminati of malicious, evil people. You don't have to believe in it, whether it's real or fake or not. It is real as hell in almost every major international corporation, where they have shareholder meetings and they have the execs get together on how to maximize profit. And yes, they conspire together in ways to do that. So it's not, the Illuminati isn't conspiracy theory. Sure, the typical idea of Illuminati or this overarching cabal that runs the whole world, that's complete horseshit for sure. But factually true that these corporations do conspire to maximize profit. And you and I, and a lot of times even governments, don't have any way to stop it. It's just the way it is, and it's not conspiracy, it's fact. It goes on in every corporate major boardroom meeting every day. So, it's not science fiction that people conspire together to screw other people over and make mad money.
The first nylon stockings on the market were made to last. What happened then?
Was back to the drawing board and come out with something that was more fragile.
They time those things. They time them. So when you finally paid for them, they're used up.
They're USA. Oh, talk about an old school word there, huh? That's cool.
The secret of millions of iPods that landed Apple in court. The answer is a hidden mechanism at the heart of the consumer society.
Planned obsolescence.
the desire on the part of a consumer to own something a little newer, a little sooner than is necessary.
Planned obsolescence has defined our lives for nearly a century.
Our role in life seems to be just to consume things with credit, to borrow money to buy things we don't need.
But consumers have started fighting back.
This was
That's us, guys.
a major case. They thought I was the next Aaron Brockovich.
Planned obsolescence is not only about deceiving the consumer, it also threatens the planet through a constant stream of toxic waste.
Posterity will never forgive us. Posterity will simply find out about the throwaway lifestyles of people in the advanced countries.
Celui qui croit qu'une croissance infinie est compatible avec une planète finie est soit un fou, soit un économiste.
A swine
The
economist.
generation of businessmen is looking for bright new ideas.
I think business and sustainability go hand in hand. It's actually the best basis to build a business on.
Can we free ourselves from the tyranny of planned obsolescence?
Yeah, great documentary, guys. Written and directed by this woman here, Cosima Danaritzer. Cosima Danaritzer. So, super interesting stuff. Really cool documentary. I mean, and yeah, I mean, these environmental consequences are just massive, massive. The film does a really good job of breaking that down. So, definitely for something for you guys to check out. So that being said, we'll move on to Act 2 of the manufacturing of Greta Thunberg. So again, we don't hate Greta here, but we're just not on the same page as far as environmental activism. So the We Don't Have Time players, if you guys remember, that's the company that the tech startup is behind a lot of this. So here are the board of directors. And this was back in, whenever he wrote this, 2019, something like that. So these names may have changed, but Ingmar Renshog, Annette Nordval, David Olsen. I mean, looks like a lot of them are from Sweden. Stella Deason, Changing the World with Microsoft Tech, InnoFactor, formerly Microsoft. Climate Reality Project by Al Gore. So yeah, that's interesting. Here's their board of directors. Yeah, I mean, see, guys, this is the Illuminati of this company. You know what I mean? The Illuminati is just a stupid, made-up conspiracy word for idiots, but I mean, conspiracies are real, and cabals of people who care more about profit than they do about people or the planet are very real. Mr. Gore here is the perfect example of that. I don't think that there's a politician or a converted politician to private sector guy who is more contradictory than Al Gore flying his big old private jet wherever the hell he wants, and at the same time, taking money from people to save the world. I mean, pretty wild. So yeah, IKEA obviously big in Sweden, so they're gonna have ties to Greta and this We Don't Have Time. So the presence of IKEA on the We Don't Have Time advisory board should be duly noted. In 2017, IKEA awarded $44.6 million grant from the IKEA Foundation to the We Mean Business Coalition. This grant was in fact the second largest single donation ever made by the charitable arm of the retail giant. We Mean Business Coalition funding members, the B Team, the Business for Social Responsibility, the Carbon Disclosure Project, Sirius, the Climate Group, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, the Prince of Wales Corporate Climate Group. We met business partners. Yeah, so just that time. I mean, look at all these nonprofits. I'm not even sure if they all are nonprofits. The B team is managed purpose. The for so they're not. Some of them are. Some of them are very much for profit. Yeah, IKEA's garbage. They create garbage products. Sustainability and capitalism are like oil and water. The two are incompatible. They cannot coexist. The climate revolution, sought by We Don't Have Time, doesn't contrast mass consumption. It delivers new products in order to expand it. The clean energy revolution doesn't threaten big oil. It secures it. It doesn't weaken capitalism. It strengthens it. It doesn't inspire resistance. It quells it into oblivion. So, I mean, here we can reflect on the most simple things that shed light on the ideologies and majority used at the helm of decision-making and addressing our climate crisis. In plain sight with companies and institutions that person is most interested in are made public on one's LinkedIn account. Selected groups to follow shared by the average nonprofit industrial complex professional. Yeah, sometimes even these nonprofits are just such a scam, and they're so sophisticated in how they funnel the money that they indeed are for profit, you know? So just be hesitant where you're giving your money, guys, and your time. Institutions for people working in the realms of ecology, indigenous rights, social justice, environmental sciences, or other critical areas associated with climate change, environmental depletion, nor are similar institutions or individuals working towards small-scale local solutions of interest. Rather, this interlocking directorate of TED Talkers and thought leaders most commonly select and follow the world's most powerful and successful finance and tech companies and the marketing firms that propel them to their success. Rarely are institutions, groups, or people within the environment, science, and interest, nor are smaller institutions of individuals working towards small-scale local solutions. The most popular institutions followed and shared by most of this crowd are comprised of white Western leadership, predominantly male. Some of the most admired ones chosen by many are the World Economic Forum, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, The Economist, the Green Climate Fund, groups and institutions they wholly identify with and seek to assimilate and belong. Yeah. The same hormones and neurotransmitters can be released by a good story. These include dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, which Phillips refers to as the angel's cocktail. The effects of oxytocin make you more generous, trusting, and ready to bond. This is what is released in your blood when you hear a sad story. It makes us feel relaxed and more human as we bond to the storyteller. Based on the TEDx Stockholm talk, The Magic Science of Storytelling by David J.P. Phillips. We Don't Have Time Board of Directors. To begin this segment, we can look at the We movement, the Me to We, Free the Children and WE Day, the 2015 expose, Unleashing of Volunteerism, produced by the Canadian Public Broadcasting. Was originally scheduled to air in March. Tourism masquerading as volunteerism for the privileged youth in the West. Yeah, that is so true. Celebrity fetishizing in rapidly growing society void of meaning and culture has resulted in such a powerful asset to capitalism and militarism that the subject has become an active area of study by academics such as Dan Brockington and Elin Kapoor. The power of celebrity was not lost on WE, whose keynote speakers for massive gatherings and endorsements have included Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Hey, 2008. There's our guy. In 2015, Obama's election win, former First Lady Michelle Obama. Hey-oh, celebrity. Ew, 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 ew. Hollywood's Natalie Portman. Well, renting celebrities. This niche little industry. That's really what they are. They're rented celebrities. Let's watch this. Not only do the people on the board of the directors at these nonprofits fucking not care, but these actors definitely and actresses definitely do not care. What's going on here? Uh-oh, looks like that video is now gone. Sorry, guys, can't watch that one. Looks like it's been scrapped. Yeah, here it goes on to talk about Thunberg has stated repeatedly that her strike will continue until Sweden is aligned with the Paris Agreement. Therefore, by her own statements, this is singular, blah, blah, blah. The foundation of the Paris Agreement is one explosion of nuclear financialization of nature, further privatization on unprecedented scale, large-scale CO2 reduction, and desperate attempt to revitalize economic growth and, and more market solutions that will further perpetuate our multiple crises. Therefore, the Thunberg campaign is in part to create demand upon governments across the globe to align with the Paris Agreement. Youth unstoppable. Poof, sad. Oh, sorry guys. I like to put in this calm music helps deal with the bullshit here. Over 3,000 global leaders were come together under the theme Globalization 4.0. Yeah, see, she's going to Davos and, sitting pretty, getting the Wagyu steaks and dining with all the fancy politicians. It's like, come on. These are the people you need to be holding accountable. You don't need to be dining with them. It's just a joke. Playing their little game. She's part of it. She's definitely part of it. I guess at least at a minimum, it is getting the youth talking about the subject. But, she's kind of co-opting and leading them down the wrong path. She wants to build trust in these new NGOs and nonprofits. And in 10 years, you're going to be looking back on it when it's revealed that, of course, it was all a scam and your money went nowhere but into the pockets of the people who found her in the first place. You'll learn your lesson and say, okay, time to do more research before I get involved with some of these slacktivism, factivism, faketivism bullshit campaigns that are definitely mass-produced by our the corporatists. And the CO2 reduction stuff, we gotta get a handle on this stuff, guys. Like full-scale facilities, like what is this about? Like this, a lot of this stuff isn't even gonna be fucking practical. The ideas they come up with are only so they can continue to build their own companies. It's just sad. It's just sad. So, yeah, in the 21st century, manufactured movements and revolutions, today's leaders are fabricated and by corporate owners and funded by media. They're no longer enemies of the establishment. Rather, they do events together. And establishment figures such as New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio alluding over the new revolutionaries while tagging them and tweeting their praises. When the establishment itself loves the movement, faces our future, we know we've already lost tomorrow. I mean, that's just big facts right here, guys. Big facts. There hasn't been a real uprising movement in this country since Occupy Wall Street, and that was completely co-opted. And since then, the government and corporations and intelligence agencies have done everything that they can to prevent anything even close to that from happening since. So, just be careful what type of movement you guys are getting behind here. So here's another one. Unsecured ability to pop up brands. Yeah, Johnson & Johnson, Global Citizen is perhaps the most egregious NGO in the nonprofit industrial complex with this grotesque model of shallow, hollowed-out activism and corporatization. Recently, Global Citizen has introduced points that can be accumulated by clicking on actions and a blatant emulation of credit cards. Yeah, see, guys, just brutal. This social engineering, unquestioned compliance, instantaneous acquisition. In order to receive the reward, one must perform the action requested. If you do not comply, you simply do not receive the points. Here, the encouragement for critical thought and debate is deliberately and strategically erased from the equation. So, yeah, I mean, look at the set. Look at the production value in this set. The environmentalists, we should be, first of all, yeah, if you're doing you should be doing something outside, or think outside the box. Go do it on a dirty beach, film it there, and then afterwards you and the entire event staff and people go out there and clean it up. Instead you've got Johnson and Johnson spending some coinage on building you a nice little set. Oh, look at these two friendly faces. Yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. You can go on and on and on here. The coup de grace. This looks like a mugshot. Wow. Yeah, Greta Thunberg is being strategically exploited by the World Bank, the UN, and the nonprofit industrial complex that serves the ruling class. They're using her to advance their own self-interests and objectives that are in direct opposition to everything this young woman brilliantly articulates. This is being presented as a leaderless movement, very much the new power methodology of religion for the capitalists, theorized by Jeremy Hyman's for mass movement building. That serves the most powerful and destructive forces on the planet. It's so true. The manipulation of young malleable minds is the foundation of Western indoctrination in order to insulate a failing system and mask the market solutions being designed to address it. Market solutions that benefit the rich at the expense of the environment. Hence, the youth are always sacrificial lambs of the non-profit industrial complex. Yeah, guys, like I said last week, earlier, can't stress it enough. Get out there and do it yourselves, Start from the bottom. If you care, help out your own community. Donate your time instead of your money. That usually is more efficient, There's big money behind these movements here. Scary stuff. But just be aware, and again, it's not all bad. It really isn't all bad at all. That Greta's not all evil, and some of the NGOs probably aren't even all bad, and maybe some of the money is allocated properly. Just I would say in most cases it is not. So here I got something here that I found. It was quite interesting, and it's the main tactic that these nonprofits and NGOs use to recruit people and make them feel guilty. So. It's a tactic called individualization of responsibility. And it's the idea, instead of demanding big systemic top-down changes from our leaders of industry, that we all need to wake up and do the right thing individually and change things from the bottom up. Put the onus on the little people to make the sacrifices and the changes so the big people don't have to do any of the dirty work. Like, yeah, recycling is good and we should do it, but it's not going to stop the plastic from reaching the oceans and the entire ecology and ecosphere environment imploding. It's not enough to start, be individual and start from the bottom and helping your community and reducing your own waste. That's a great place to start, but eventually you need to, upgrade to the idea that we need to start holding these people, these corporations, and accountable for the recklessness. And we need to track them. We need a corporate crime tracker, and we need to vocalize it when they commit the atrocities that they do, So that being said, no more doom and gloom. Let's get happy here, guys, with a good story, environmental story that's actually a real solution instead of some of these fake proposed solutions. Boom! Popular science. Seaweed farming could be the next big thing in sustainability, guys. Any of these big ideas that include growing things and protecting and rebuilding habitats, I'm all about. So here we go. Seaweed is way more than simply a plant that feels gross to swim through. It can truly do it all. It's one of the most abundant plants on the planet. It's a dietary staple for millions. It soaks up carbon. I mean, that right there soaks up the carbon. Just the exact opposite of, what was it? that these Norwegians company decided to do? Something obnoxious? Let's go back and find out. To pull the carbon out. I don't know. They said like they're going to build these huge facilities, and governments are going to, now politics, blah blah blah. 3 full-scale facilities in Norway are planned, not granted. So I'm sure they exist now, but why? What are we doing? CO2 capture facilities? So we're going to build giant warehouses? What? It protects, it's just insane. That protects and serves the business and the industry rather than the people on the planet. It's just so true. So I mean, this idea makes so much more sense. Not only that, these things it could be used to reduce I've heard this. You can replace plastic, even more eco-friendly cow feed. Yeah, so I mean, seaweed here, winner, guys. Super duper win. More seaweed farming is also potentially a major part of the solution for the global food insecurity. A study published January 26 in the journal Nature Sustainability. Okay, that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to actually download this here. This looks cool. Download unavailable. Oh, okay. So I can't download it, but I am going to save it and read it later. Yeah, cool. This looks great. So, I mean, awesome, guys. Our study found that expanding seaweed farming could help reduce demand for terrestrial crops and reduce global agricultural greenhouse gas emissions, GHG, by up to 2.6 billion tons of CO2 equivalent per year. Seaweed has a great commercial and environmental potential as nutritious food and a building block for commercial products, including animal feed, plastics, fibers, diesel, and ethanol. The team used the global biosphere management model, which assesses competition for land use between agriculture, bioenergy, and forestry to map out the potential of farming more than 34 commercially important seaweed species. It's also estimated the potential environmental benefits on a range of scenarios based on water, fertilizer, and GHG. Yeah, so, I mean, cool, guys. Just totally cool. Look at this. Animal feed, plastics, fibers. I mean, this is like the new cannabis. This is cannabis 2.0. If you guys don't know, I'm a big time cannabis guy. But I mean, anything that we can do to reduce, this is the big thing right here. Boom. Right here. That's doing some major damage to us and our bodies, as well as tons of other species in the oceans and everywhere. Everything. I mean, we have to do better. So that's what's most exciting about the seaweed stuff. Super cool. So in one scenario, we were substituted 10% of human diets globally with seaweed products. The development of 110 million hectares of land for farming could be prevented. We would also identify millions of available hectares of the ocean within global exclusive economic zones, EEZs, where farming could be developed. EEZs are areas of the sea where sovereign state has special rights regarding the exploration and use of marine resources in the area. At up to 114 million hectares suitable for farming seaweed, the largest suitable ocean was the Indonesian EEZ. Oh, that's interesting. Australia, too. I wonder why. I wonder what's so good about their oceans. According to Spillis, many of the native species of seaweed live in Australian waters haven't been studied for commercial productive perspective. Okay, so the way I like to look at this thing is think about our ancestral versions of everyday crops like corn and wheat, which were uninspiring, weedy things. Through thousands of years of breeding, we have developed the staple crops to underpin modern society. Seaweed could very well hold similar potential in the future. Okay, guys. I mean, it's exciting stuff. There's something to be optimistic about. It's not always, it doesn't always have to be cynicism, and it doesn't always have to be attacking the corporations, even though we need to be attacking the corporations and holding them accountable for ruining the goddamn planet. Let's get excited about stuff like this. I mean, this is really cool here, guys. If you live next to an ocean, why not? I would experiment with trying to grow some of your own. Play around with the idea. Increase your knowledge on it. I know I would if I lived near one. That's something I'm definitely doing now. I have a nice little mycelium cultivation going on. In the future, I hope to make some Tony Grows episodes as a new segment for the channel. Not just mushroom cultivation, but cannabis cultivation. I'm super interested in all types of ecology, and especially growing your own stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you live next to an ocean, give it a whirl. The team points out that expanding seaweed production would need to be carried out with care to avoid bringing some of the problems from the land into the ocean. Our study points out that it could be done to address some of the mounting problems global sustainability facing us. Yeah, I mean, anything that big like this scares me, though. We've already done so much damage to the ocean. Would mass rolling this out be the kill shot for the oceans? Who knows? I doubt it. If you can, again, it's about, how many of us can learn enough about it where we can contribute and help reduce the amount of problems that arise from it and get some solutions. I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's green, literally. Seaweed, can of weed, landweed, seaweed. These are the solutions, guys. So, super cool. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call it there with that one. Thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, live that green revolution, y'all. Live it up. Yeah, we'll be back next week. I'm going to be doing I don't know if I'm going to do them twice a week still, but at least definitely Thursdays at 7 p.m. Is going to be the highlighted time, Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. is going to be our live stream get-togethers where we could talk it up, chat it out, get green. Get on the green side of history. You know what I mean, guys? You know what I mean? Ting, ting, man. Get on the green side, the ganja side, the beta side. So cool. Thanks so much again, guys, for watching. We'll dive into the continued drama of Greta here in next week's episode for Act 3. So thanks so much, guys. Bye.